And I remember once being at the San Diego Zoo with my family, and I'm that type of person that will actually stop and listen to what the zookeepers are saying about the animals, because I find it quite fascinating. And subhanAllah, I remember the last time that I was at the zoo, I was listening to the zookeeper saying that the eagle, the bald eagle, actually has 4 times the vision of a human being, right? A human being, not any human being, a human being with perfect eyesight. And she said that if you were to hang a newspaper on a field goal post 3 football fields away, the eagle could actually read the fine print on that paper. A great white shark can detect a drop of blood in 25 gallons of water, right? They can smell it from 3 miles away. An elephant can smell water from 3 miles away. A hummingbird could beat their wings up to 80 times per second. That to us is humanly impossible. How could a hummingbird do such a thing? A flea could jump 200 times its height, which is equivalent to a man jumping over the Empire State Building. A cheetah could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. A giraffe can stand within half an hour of its birth. So all of these things essentially show us that we are not as superior of a creation as we think we are. And Imam Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah had a beautiful reflection on that. Sufyan al-Thawri, he said, the only thing that we actually surpass everything around us in is our ability to properly prostrate, our ability to do sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to put every part of our body in sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in prostration, because that's why Allah created us, that's the purpose He gave to us, and that's what we are superior to the creation around us in doing. So we are limited in our own creation, and obviously, the things around us are far more vast than we can possibly grasp. You'll hear scientists constantly saying, that there are now this many billion stars that we are sure exist, and this many billion stars. And so at this point now, scientists have come to the conclusion that there are over 300 billion stars in our galaxy, and perhaps over 1 trillion planets in our galaxy alone, right? And then you talk about the galaxies that exist outside of our galaxies, and the planets and the things that are flying around outside of outer space where we can't even see. And scientists say that the chance of 2 galaxies colliding, that's outside of what we can see, the chance of 2 galaxies colliding, where there are over 100 billion of them, is the same possibility as a fly from Paris and a fly from DC colliding. So what you should ask next is, how vast is that space that contains those 100 billion galaxies that we think exist and we can't even see? And subhanAllah, when you look at the Big Bang Theory and how this all came together, scientists will happily admit that if things were even 1 trillionth of a second off, none of this happens. None of this around us happens. In fact, not a single star forms. And so when you look at the creation around us, how vast it is, who could be doing all of this except for a creator, except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And how could we exist when scientifically there are over 200 known parameters that are necessary for a planet to support life? And every single one of them has to be perfectly met. So how could we possibly exist had it not been for a creator that put us here? And so I saw this article, floating around recently that science is increasingly actually making the case for a designer, for God. And Dr. John Lennox from Oxford, he said that the more we get to know about our universe, the more the hypothesis that there is a creator gains credibility as the best explanation of why we are here. And so it has to be something, the creator has to be something that is outside of our concept of time, because obviously time is created, and time, there has to be a cause and effect, and creation has to be created, and so on and so forth. It has to go back to something that is completely free of our notions of time, that is completely free of our notions of cause and effect, that is completely self-existent, and that has a will in order to will the creation to begin in the first place. And that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Download our mobile applications or register on our official website to get access to exclusive content. Links given in description of video.